Now, in our top story, SAPS Divisional Commissioner for Crime Prevention, General Dumisani Kumalo, will continue with his testimony at the Madlanga Commission this morning. Kumalo fell ill at the beginning of October and was thus unable to continue with his witness testimony. Since then, various witnesses have testified before the Commission, including Hawks Divisional Commissioner General Patrick Mboto. He denied any attempt by Hawks members interfering in police operations at the premises of murder-accused Katiso Katie Molefe in December 2024. Mboto says the Hawks' presence there was because they believed a bogus police operation was being conducted. Hawks officials have contradicted one another to the extent that questions have emerged on whether their involvement was an innocent verification request or an alleged interference to shield Molefe. All right, so for more on what is expected today, let's go live to our SABC's Canny Maphanga in Pretoria. She, of course, is also joined by Sakina Kamwendo. And Canny, I mean, yesterday an interesting one, but for some reason I think today all eyes certainly on what is going to happen at the Commission.
Well, morning, Leanne, and of course, it was slightly windy, but better than yesterday weather-wise. But I tell you what, the temperature is probably going to rise here at the bridge at Madlanga College, because one would have imagined, given the information or the evidence that has been led so far, that perhaps at this point we would hear more from the Hawks, perhaps from their head in terms of the disputed evidence that we've heard from various members of that operation takedown. But interestingly enough, that's not where we're going, Canny. This morning we are seeing the return of General Kumalo.
Indeed. We expected, after all that evidence, which sought to see clarity on why the Hawks truly descended on that property on the 6th of December 2024 in their numbers and stayed there for an hour. The chain of command led us to believing that the National Hawks head, or the former National Hawks head, that is, General Labia, would be the next witness to explain where the call came from and why the subsequent, chain of command followed after that. But it seems that Lieutenant General Dumisani Kumalo will be returning to the stand. We haven't seen him for a while, since he had to abruptly stop his appearance earlier last month due to the fact that he fell ill after he came to the precinct. His evidence is quite important because he's the one that maps out this actual criminal cartel, what it looks like, what its modus operandi is. Where he left off is that he was speaking about the cartels and their operations from the vantage point of the WhatsApp exchanges that they were able to extract from the phone of Vusimuzi Cat Matlala. Now, there's plenty more evidence that you can hear. As you can see, that when he gave the Big Five picture, that he only spoke of 2 of its members. I'm expecting more information from the vantage point of intelligence as to who these criminal cartels are and the extent to which they have allegedly infiltrated the criminal justice system, based on their investigations ongoing as well as to what they can reveal to the Commission.
And of course, it was already interesting, as you say, the evidence that was led up until the point where General Kumalo fell ill, talking of those WhatsApp exchanges, walking through what had happened, the weapons that were confiscated for ballistics testings from Cat Matala, and then of course there were other exchanges about the accommodation and flights that were meant to be booked, and all of that of course had to come to an abrupt halt when he was unwell. But of course, today we expect him to continue from where he left off, Canny.
Indeed. He was busy with the WhatsApp exchanges to illustrate the kind of payments that were made and how they were linked to Brown Mokgotsi, who is an alleged associate of the policeman Senzo Mchunu. I think what the payments may show is that once they go into the various different travel agencies and different companies that payments were made to, we did see a little bit of a hint that the Commission is going to bring out evidence of the bank accounts of those various entities that were paid and show how the money was relayed back to Brown Mokgotsi, who is an alleged associate of the Police Minister Senzo Mchunu. And this all ties into the allegation made by Vusimuzi Kat Matlala through those recordings that were put before the Commission a few days ago, that he was allegedly one of the funders of the presidential ambitions of Police Minister Mchunu through this third party that is Brown Mokgotsi. So we're going to get a more in-depth look as to how the money flowed, because at least on the part of Vusimuzi Kat Matlala, some of those payments he made are actually traceable. So you can actually see where the money went and where it flowed from there to who the final recipient would have been.
Well, thanks, Canny Maphanga. And of course, we'll pick up on this in the second hour of the show. And talking, of course, to the evidence that we are expecting to hear today, probably being led once again by Advocate Adila Hashim this morning. And this is, of course, for General Kumalo. And as Canny was saying, a bit of a surprise given what we've heard so far and what the expectation may have been of where to go next. But of course, it is the return of General Kumalo. So we'll be back to give you a little bit more on what we've heard and, of course, what we are expecting here from the Bridget Mabandla Justice College in Pretoria.